Go ahead. Okay, the more important thing is the beef is ready.
Beef is ready. Yes, beef is ready. Hey, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us for another night of live with Colorado Beef. I have a special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself here in just a second, but thank you as always for joining us. We are very excited to have you here on another Live with Colorado Beef. Hey, a couple housekeeping notes for you like we always say. Be sure to head into that description section and click on those links. We've got a great link for you today to some amazing beef tips. And then as always, head over to cobeef.com, Colorado Beef Council website, where you can find that amazing beef locator map that allows you to get that Colorado beef for your fridge, freezer, and belly. Thanks to our Colorado ranchers and producers for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to be live, and we are live outside. Yeah. Listen, we had thunderstorms earlier, the threat of hail, but all of a sudden the skies parted. It's beautiful, and we're ready to do this. All right, Chef, please take a minute and tell these amazing people who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Chef Dagan. I work for National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Focus on recipe development. I get to partner up with chefs like you.
Right.
Doing some ideating, doing some creative recipes. I service all the functions that we have at our organization too.
Nice.
And I get to just focus on this beautiful protein.
And the best part is when you talk about recipes, it's recipes where? Like, where do they find these recipes?
So I think we're passing 950 recipes on beefitswhatsfordinner.com. From everything from scratch to simple to flat irons to cowboys to ribeyes to prime ribs to meatloaf.
I love it.
Everything is on there.
And you know, we use beefitswhatsfordinner.com a ton for all of our recipes. That's where we get tips, we get advice, we get cooking tips. We get to go in there to that search engine area and type in, wait, I found a flat iron in my fridge.
Right. What do I do with it?
And that will bring up not only identification things, where it comes from, what kind of muscle it is, best ways to cook it, but it gives you sample recipes as well.
Yeah.
Beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
You know, I've been with the organization 2 years now, and I'm still blown away of the amount of resources that we've put into this beautiful industry and the amount of resources on that website.
Yeah. So. As a chef, I used to use Beef It's What's for Dinner for training for my staff.
Nice.
So if we
That's good. Yes.
Yep. If we had flat iron, we could go in and talk muscle identification, structure. We could talk location, identify tenderness, all that. Really good tool to use to help you find different ways to cook, and especially with people being considerate of budget, right? And what happens if you buy a whole cow or a quarter or a half? What do you do with everything?
You get that part, that plate rib you're not sure what to do with? We have tons of recipes on there.
We're talking tips today. We are talking grilling tips to make you backyard superstars, because at the end of the day, we want you to have the most optimal beef eating experience possible.
Yes, the ranchers are producing this amazing product.
Absolutely.
We want to be confident when we buy it, and we want to be confident in cooking it. Right?
And I didn't tell him to say that word, but confident is actually the best.
You got to have a little swagger.
You have to be confident on the grill, because we don't want you to question temperature, time, doneness. So we have some great tips for you. We're going to run through some tips that you can find on today's downloadable. It is, hold on here, it is titled Tips to Kick Off Grilling Season from Beef It's What's for Dinner. So some of our tips. First tip, we have to consider the cut.
Yep.
And what are some things when it comes to the cut that we should consider?
I always try to consider cooking method too. Yep. Like, what do we have to cook with? If we have, a griddle or a grill or live charcoal, I try to figure that, and then I try to figure out how many people I'm feeding. I have a large family, so I try to figure out what I need to spend or what I need to not spend at the store.
So budget.
Budget is up there.
Options, which you just said. Options, am I entertaining?
Right.
Options, what's am I grill? So those are some great things. Consider the cut. Skirt steak on charcoal is magic.
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 And skirt steak also, if you're a rub person like me and you, right?
Yep.
Also does well with the marinade. Like, that particular cut absorbs the marinade tenderizes it, and it doesn't have to happen the night before. It can happen a few hours before, an hour before, depending on how clever you are.
So you segued us into tip number 2.
All right.
Tip number 2, elevating the flavor. How do we make it taste good? You said it first. We like rub.
We like rubs.
But I make
We're rub
rubs.
guys.
Listen,
Yes.
I make rub for a living. But I'll tell you what, the last time we did smash burgers, we did peanut butter and jelly smash burgers, by the way.
Okay.
Strawberry,
that's a new one
strawberry
for me.
preserves won out. But anyways,
Strawberry
salt
preserve.
and pepper.
Okay.
Salt and pepper is the most basic thing ever, right?
Right.
Or your favorite rub. Tell me a little bit about marinades. What do we have to be careful of? What do we have to look for?
I mean, depending on the cut, like I don't know if I would want to marinate a cowboy steak. You could. It's up to you. But you know, if you have skirt or strips or flank, all do well in the marinade. I would just consider what your whole menu is. Like here, I have a smashed taco planned for us to make.
Can't wait.
I like to keep things very authentic, but this is kind of America meets Mexico,
right?
So burger, taco together.
Doesn't get any better.
Doesn't get any better than that.
On marinades, when I'm making marinades, I have to be careful of how much acid, right? So that I don't turn the beef rubbery. I have to be careful of sugar.
Yeah.
Which is hard for me because I love soy sauce. I love sweet soy sauce. And I have to be careful how much I add because too much sugar.
A little caramelized too much on the grill. Yeah.
All right. So flavor, elevate your flavors. We've got pick your cut.
Yep.
We've got elevate your flavors. And then I'm telling you, the tip sheet says medium and steady wins the race.
I like it.
So temperature-wise, we have to what? Like be careful, be cautious?
Yeah, I mean, I always like a medium-high heat.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm using live wood, you know, you have to budget time for that, right? You don't want it to flare up on it.
Yeah.
You don't want to start it cooking and all of a sudden you get a flare, and then all of a sudden you're running back to the grill trying to fix it.
Yep.
But temperature, like medium-high heat, is good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of preference though too. Like, what do you like? Do you like a lot of char on your steak?
Yeah.
You like to develop that umami flavor, that Maillard reaction if you have a griddle.
Yep.
So I always try to get people to get into their inner chef, right?
So interestingly enough, lately I've been having lots of teachings and learnings and experiences dealing with what it means to sear. Because when we talk about medium and steady wins the race, you have Group A that says, no, only way you sear is at
High
700
heat.
or 800 degrees.
Yeah.
And you have Group B that's like, whoa, that's way too hot.
Yeah.
What
I don't
about
like that.
400?
Right.
But at the end of the day, searing is different to everybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we want to develop flavors that you like and they like and everybody likes. So yeah, it's an interesting medium and steady wins the race statement because we're really trying to develop flavor, caramelization,
Yep.
and like you said, umami, which
that
umami
umami.
means what? What does umami mean to you?
It's that sixth sense, right? It's
Right.
that. It's the sweet, sour, salty, bitter. That other one that gets in there.
Yep.
To me, it's kind of, you talked about peanut butter and beef. That would never come out of my brain, but as a kid, peanut butter and jelly guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
would probably spark that flavor profile, and I would be like, okay, I remember that when I was a kid. I love it.
What jelly
Right.
though? What flavor jelly?
I've got to be grape, right? Concord, man. Concord.
Solid,
Yes.
all the time. So interesting, umami. When I talk to people about umami, I'm like, think about you eat that nice like piece of beef. That first, like they bring the steak out and you're eyeing that ribeye cap, right? You cut into that and they want to eat that first, and you eat it and your eyes roll back in your head and you're like, whoa, umami.
Amazing. Umami.
Umami.
That's it.
All right,
Punches
so
you right in the face.
don't rush
right?
the cooking. Don't rush it. Slow and steady. Develop flavor, develop caramelization, and then temperature is king.
Yeah,
Right?
it's actually
it's done. It's done.
a
Right?
project
It's-
I want to get done is time, temperature, thickness.
Yep.
Right? That's what kind of meat boils down to. Right? So if
So
you got a
get
thick steak,
yeah,
more time.
more time.
Right? So,
And cooking temperatures, doneness
Right.
temperatures. That's always important too. We all cook to our own desired doneness. There are guidelines. If you need them, grab those. They are sitting over at cobeef.com. But temperature is king. Use a thermometer so you know it's done. I love when I watch like Food Network and places and you're like, it's done. And it confuses everybody, right?
everybody's hands are a little different.
Everybody, right? And they're always like, just feel here.
Right, just
Well, what if
feel
I
it,
got
okay.
fat? What if I have fat like baseball glove hands? That's not going to work. All right. And the last tip, It's time to savor it. It's time to kick back, relax. What are your thoughts on resting? Like, I cook a steak like that. How long are you resting it before you get
I
after
am a
it?
proponent of resting. I
am
just
too.
think the meat has time to relax. It kind of reabsorbs those juices. Cook with a lot of tallow, a lot of butter. You know, you finish your steak, you brush
man.
it with that butter, absorbs it a little bit. But it could go the other way. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the kind of person that just likes to sear, slice, and go. I prefer rest.
I do too. And I remember when my grandpa was cooking when I was a young kid, you know, he'd always claim, like, look at the juices on the steak. And it never dawned on me until after a few years of culinary school that I was like, right, when you take it right off the grill and slice into it,
Boom, it's hot.
When you cook steaks, like that juice goes into protection mode. Right?
Right,
It
right.
it's like hiding and
a
holding.
muscle.
It's like
Tenses
stop.
up.
Don't
Yep.
don't dry out. And relaxing it lets it just kind of do its thing.
Right, exactly. And I will say that, you know, a lot of the research that our organization has done and many other organizations have done, the tenderness of beef now is light years better than it was when we were kids.
Yep.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. I
Long
mean,
time
that's
ago.
like
Yeah.
we're talking like
Dog years with the chef, yeah?
a lot of dog years. A lot of dog years.
Chef years, dog years, similar.
So great
Okay?
tips for you, from picking the right cut to elevating your flavors. Temperature, medium and steady wins the race, but really it's up to you. If
You're
you
the chef.
want to do that reverse sear and put it on your pellet
Ooh,
grill,
I love that one.
that one's crazy.
That one is good.
That's one of my
do like
favorite
one.
go-tos.
Particularly with roast beef, with prime ribs, right? Reverse sear.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that reverse sear is nice because you just take a long time on a pellet or charcoal
Yeah.
to slowly raise that temperature, that whole temperature.
Oh.
And then just, what did you say? Hit it in the face? They hit it
Hit
in
it
the face
right?
at the end with that hot and fast. And then temperature is king. Cook it to your desired doneness, and use a great digital instant read thermometer, and then let it rest. Savor
That's it.
savor
Yeah.
the flavor, and then time to eat.
And then the biggest thing is if you're feeding a crowd of people,
Yes.
make them wait. Right? When's it ready? When the steak is done.
Right.
Okay, that's right.
Right. But when it's done and it's rested and
Let's
you're ready to
eat,
cut, let's
right?
go.
Let's go.
Do you have patience
Yeah.
for people that take forever to load their plate up, or do you kind of help scoot them along a little bit so you can?
I love feeding people. So
Yeah.
that's what I've always loved. That's the best thing about this industry is how beef brings everybody together. You know, definitely celebratory meat. Any cut you get into. So I don't mind. Like as long as they're not like rushing the meat.
Yeah.
Right. When is
Yeah.
it done? When is it done? It's done when it's ready.
When it's done.
When it's ready.
When it's done. I always tell people when we're cooking brisket, like, do not
Especially brisket.
tell your family
Right.
we are eating brisket at 6 o'clock.
No. It may work.
You can,
But-
it might be 6 a.m. It might be 6 p.m. the next day, because brisket's done when brisket wants to be done.
Variables.
Variables.
Right. There's a lot of
Variables.
variables.
Okay, here is my random question of the day for you.
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot. Have
go.
you ever cooked that Thor's hammer thing that everybody's?
I
It's
have,
famous
I
on
have.
the.
I
on-
actually, you know what, I
Famous
just
on the
did it Monday.
interwebs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
famous on that TikTok thing.
Yes.
Thor's hammer.
Patience. It needs moisture.
Totally.
It needs flavor. You know, if you can rub this thing the day before, you know, get some seasoning in there, cook it slow and low. It's, you know, if you're going to do it in a pellet smoker, moisture in there, add moisture somehow.
So maybe add a pan of.
add
some-
a pan of water.
What do you see? Water. Okay, perfect. I was going to ask.
Or vinegar, like diluted vinegar.
okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit of water and vinegar. Get that little acid going in there. Tallow,
You love tallow.
butter.
Yeah, butter. I got it too. All right.
Butter with all the milk solids.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs that extra moisture, and it takes a while.
It does.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? How big was it? How long did it take?
I did one in the oven in braising liquid, and it was probably 7 before I was happy with it. So
7 hours before it hit
yeah.
that
Slow
10
and low. Yeah, 320.
Covered,
maybe.
uncovered?
I did it covered. Yeah, covered. And then what I did is I got it so it was super tender, and then I hit it on a high heat. You could do it on the grill. You could do it in
caramelize
the
it all?
smoker, just to get that last little caramelization on there. Really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I have two.
All right.
I got two from a local rancher. He brought them by and said, "Chef, you got to do it." I
Okay.
have two picanhas sitting in my.
Picanha is
I'm ready.
creeping up there on one of my favorites.
Yep.
Okay, I cooked
And
some the other day.
You said you cooked some the other day in a pizza oven.
Yeah, we have one of our great recipes that just came out. It's picanha, so
Yeah.
it's the whole roast.
Right.
Skin side down in a pizza oven. So you get that rendering out there. And then I did like a puntanesca. So really good recipe for like an appetizer, you know, some grilled bread or some toast, little puntanesca sauce.
He's never
sliced picanha.
He's never coming back as a guest again, ever. I'm absolutely drooling. Now I'm sitting here wondering why we don't just do this every week or every month.
Let's do it. I'm down.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the steaks we have in front of us. Beef on a budget.
Okay.
I always like to tell people there's a beef cut for every budget.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. And when it comes to certain things, I'm all about, and maybe let me know if you do at your family. Are you like a cook once, eat twice? So you try to like get maybe some leftovers and a snack or another meal out of it?
Absolutely. Because when I cook, I go big.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So I always have leftovers.
Right.
I try not to cook every day. So that's actually a program we've done in the past too, and there's still a lot of recipes on there using leftover beef. You know, if it's prime rib, if you're lucky to have any. If it's just, you know, steaks that didn't get eaten, or even working on some with burgers that don't get finished.
So if you're cooking, how many people in your family?
6.
6. So if you're cooking for 6 people and it's prime rib, how big's your prime rib?
I mean, probably a 7-8 pounder, I guess.
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
we're talking bone in, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
so
a little bit more.
I think we're about the same. Like I would cook for 4 and probably have 8 to 10 pound prime
Right.
rib. So there's some leftovers. So all right, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different cuts. We have a couple value, right? And then we have some of the jewels, the cuts that everybody's going after.
Yes.
But let's talk about this guy here, the strip steak.
I mean, arguably one of the more beefy cuts that are out there. Fairly lean, versatile in more ways that we could probably think of right now.
Yeah.
But this one I think everybody's very familiar with. So
Yep.
your New York strip, Kansas City strip, strip loin.
And lean, is this considered one of the 33 plus lean cuts of beef?
I mean, well, compared to the round, I would say
Yeah.
that anything out of the round is a little bit leaner. That's why I like the chuck.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big
But yeah,
fan.
this is, well, I mean, it's not as lean as tenderloin.
Right.
You know, grade can play a role here for sure. We're very lucky in Colorado.
We are.
Right? We get spoiled.
We do.
With amazing beef.
We
We have
get
amazing
absolutely
ranchers
spoiled.
here doing beef that is much more marbly than that if we wanted to. But I'd say it's a little bit leaner.
Yeah.
You know, you can trim it up leaner if you want to too, by just trimming the outside.
You always can.
You
right?
always can.
And you can take the tail off, the little
Yep.
chunk of fat on the end, but this hits, right? A little bit thinner. You can grill them hot and fast. You got a steak sandwich.
Right.
Spray a little mustard on there. Life is
Perfect.
good.
Love
So
that.
that is your New York strip steak. Usually get best value when you buy like a family pack.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah.
So buy what they call box beef. So
Yep.
buy a whole strip loin, cut it down, trim it down, render
Yep.
the tallow, use the tallow. It's a way to save cash, you know.
What are you making with tallow at your house? Are you making like chapstick and all that other fun stuff with tallow?
Beard oil.
I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew it.
That's why it's so nice, right?
These
Get
are if you could cut your own steaks at home, you're going to save a lot of money.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
you
save
use
a
the
lot of
fat,
money.
So it's
But like Chef's saying, make sure you've got an out plan for all the extra pieces. You could
Right.
grind some of it. The tallow you could render out and use
Yep.
it for a lot of things, but
just use it as cooking oil, a cooking medium.
That-
You know, buy olive oil or
that,
stuff like that.
strip steak is great. Look at this. Let's talk ribeye.
Ooh, I just had one of these the other day. It was a You Cook It restaurant.
yeah.
You Cook the Steak
Wait,
restaurant.
you went and cooked your own
So
steak? Wait, where are you?
so great.
I saw on Instagram. Where were you guys?
This is in Iowa. Yeah.
So he went to Iowa.
Iowa.
And he showed up at a restaurant, and they're like, "Here, pick your steak and go cook it yourself." And how did
It
you
was
do?
so much fun. I'm
Was
like,
it?
why aren't there more of those things? But cowboy steak, so bone-in ribeye.
Bone in.
You know, the bone is, especially on like live charcoal, is money. It's so
Amazing.
good, right?
Yep.
You know, the bone slows it down a little bit so that, you know, the meat can hit that charcoal or that grill and get a little bit more caramelization. You got the spinalis here, which is,
That ribeye
I
cap.
would say, any beef aficionado, that's probably top 2, 3 maybe.
Oh, that
right?
might
Yes.
be top one for me.
Top one. It is top one for me.
You get all that caramelization in there. You get the crispiness on the outside.
It's
all
so
the
good. Yeah.
salt and pepper.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a cowboy and a tomahawk?
So, I mean, same bone in.
Yep.
It's just your tomahawk is going to have excess bone out here. It's more
it's
for
the
show,
whole, isn't it?
right?
It's the rib, right?
Right, it's the
Yeah.
whole rib. Yeah, so that's the rib, but the tomahawk just comes out and that's the whole bone.
It is all show.
It's more for show.
Totally.
I mean, I do feel like reverse sear works amazing for anything bone in.
Yes.
Because it just kind of gets that meat
Yep.
the right temperature
It's
before
like
you hit the sear.
softens it and relaxes it, and then you can just crush it and
Right.
get that everything you wanted. But the beautiful thing is the entire steak is the doneness you want.
Right.
So if
From
it's
end
like,
to end.
it's
Yeah.
no longer like, well, cut into the middle and tell me if your steak is done.
Right, or
No,
if you just do a straight sear, it'll be a little bit rarer around the bone.
Yeah,
right,
it's all the same.
yeah.
Everything's
Yeah,
medium.
Perfect.
So when you buy,
Look at
I
that
know,
one.
I know.
Look at this one. This one.
This is
That's exciting.
This is
You know?
exciting.
Right.
Look at that size of that cap. So when you shop at the store, and I'm looking at a family pack of 4 steaks that are cut, are they always the same exact steak?
No, they're going to probably be, refer to box beef. So the ribeye, this long. This is actually getting close to the chuck region. You can kind of tell.
Yes.
So the chuck roll will, if this continues down or to the front of the animal, you'll get that chuck eye steak, which is really good. There's probably 3 or 4 steaks off that chuck roll.
Yep.
That are just, they call it like an affordable ribeye, right? Or more affordable ribeye. But this one is getting towards that end.
This
But
is beautiful.
Look at that spinalis.
Beautiful.
That's amazing. You got some of the chuck eye here. That's a beautiful steak.
And when you're searching for them, like, and guys like us, we are wandering through the grocery stores and the club stores, and we're like,
We're always picking them up.
nope, not that pack. Nope, not that
Yeah.
one. And if I'm buying a 4-pack, a family 4-pack, I'm looking for at least 2 to 3 of those steaks that are just amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And if I get 2, I know I get one of them. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, you're the man.
Yeah,
of the house.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're the
yeah,
one that's
yeah,
cooking.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
all right. So, you can't go wrong with a strip.
once.
You
No.
definitely can't go wrong with a ribeye. Going to be a little more rich and fat, right? A little more rich. But check this out. Top sirloin steaks. Everybody's scared of them.
I love it.
Why are they scared of them?
So sirloin is typically leaner.
Leaner.
Right. You have top and bottom, and then you have the culotte on top.
Yep.
Or the sirloin cap.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's just a little bit leaner. It's still really tender because that part of the animal doesn't get a lot of exercise, and it's just really beefy flavor. It's juicy.
Beefy.
When this thing, beefy.
Beefy.
When this thing cooks, kind of, you can see the juices kind of build up in there, and it's
Yeah.
it wants to
Turns into like a baseball.
baseball. Yeah.
Yep.
So it wants to explode. This one I cook a lot with.
This
This one
is-
we do a lot of recipes with.
I have been getting into this a lot lately. It's not that I didn't like it, but as I'm getting older, fat reacts in my body a little differently. So I've been a big fan. And tonight, that's one of the recipes. I want to show you just a quick and easy way to marinate it because
It marinates great.
and it couldn't get any easier. I used a store-bought balsamic
Yep,
vinaigrette.
yep.
I used a little bit of mustard, and we're going to give it a crazy amount of flavor to make a really nice steak. And think about this: salads, entrees, slice it thin as your
Slice
sandwich.
it thin on I've been doing this avocado toast. A little slice of that
Fancy,
on there.
fancy.
It's nice. Yeah.
Are you doing that at home, like for breakfast?
Yeah. Well,
With
try to get it-
leftovers?
With leftovers. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not coming back ever again. So, top sirloin, don't be afraid of it. A lot of great recipes on Beef It's What's for Dinner. Ways to dry heat, moist heat, marinade,
Tons,
searing,
yeah.
tons.
Kebabs, it works well too. And that one is going to be a little bit lower price point. So if you're looking to save a couple bucks,
Beef on a budget.
that's it.
And
That's it.
especially if you're buying single steaks, you're going to pay more. If you're right, maybe a little more per pound versus buying it
depending
in
on
a
where you
family
go,
pack.
I guess. Depending
Yeah.
on where to go. Yeah.
So go to your club stores and start shopping prices because can they buy 6 or 8 of those and vacuum seal them and throw them in the freezer?
Absolutely. Or buy the whole top sirloin, and then you got.
So you could
You got
buy,
everything.
you could have a little budget. All right, which one should we do next? What are you thinking?
Skirt.
All right, skirt steak. Look at this. So this is going to be that beautiful. This is some of the best eating meat around.
Yeah.
This is one of my
Around
most
here, right?
around there. This
Around
is one
here,
of my
right,
most
right.
flavorful cuts. I love to eat it as an everyday steak.
Me too. Yeah. And this one, I think the reason I like it is because you can marinate it, and it really tenderizes the meat quite well. But if you have people that want things cooked a little further,
Yeah.
this one performs well rare or more cooked.
So I have someone that comes over and they throw me a curveball and they're like, "Ooh, I need a well done one." Because
That performs terrific.
Why?
A little bit more marbling.
Okay.
I mean, it's the diaphragm of the animal, so it's constantly getting exercise. You have inside skirt, you have outside skirt. More often, retail land, you're going to see the inside.
Okay.
And that really does, it's a little thinner than the outside, but that really does well with any kind of marinade. Like even what you said here with like Italian dressing, a little spice in there.
And marbling is fat. Fat has flavor, fat has moisture. Listen,
it has flavor, that's for
in
sure.
classic French cuisine in culinary school, Chef Brassard always said, fat has flavor.
That's why you like butter and everything.
Fat
right?
has flavor, fat has moisture, and that lends itself really, really well.
Does.
This is amazing. Listen, I make rubs for a living, right? But this is amazing with salt and pepper.
Oh, yeah.
Over charcoal.
You can say that about all the cuts.
You can really, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Rubs are
obviously,
great.
rubs are going to do a good job developing some more different flavors. But salt, pepper, and charcoal, oh, mommy. Yeah. Like, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
My neighbors are looking at us in the parking lot like, what are they doing?
They're waiting for the steak.
They're waiting for steak.
They're waiting for us to cook.
Listen, this guy right here.
All right, this one, I've cooked a lot of this one. I worked in restaurants. I worked in hotels.
Absolutely.
Flat iron, it is so tender.
Oh, amazing.
You know, again, salt and pepper, kind of the go-to on that one. Classic preparation French is, you know, the caramelized onions, the garlic, the thyme, butter. That's it. Baste it. That's the classic preparation. See that a lot in bistros.
This is such a great cut.
I mean, it's so tender, so flavorful.
Yeah.
You know, talk about beefy.
Absolutely beefy.
Versatile. You know, even like just if you were trying to stretch it out and doing little kebabs, little tiny.
Yeah.
You know, grilled kebabs, little bites.
Yep.
That one's awesome.
My wife loves a flat iron. This is one of her favorite cuts because it usually is a little bit thicker and thinner. She gets a little bit more well done on this side. Still has a ton of flavor, a ton of moisture. I can eat mine, and we always have leftovers. Listen, we're empty nesters now, so it is just the two of us. But I haven't cut down on how much I cook because this is great. Like, you can slice it thin for barbecue beef and just have some nice little slices in there with some brioche. This is one of my favorite cuts.
So you feed your neighbors all the time?
No, not really.
No, okay.
No, usually not.
Leftovers?
No.
That's what I do for my house.
You feed your neighbors?
I feed my neighbors.
You're never coming over here again, ever. All right, so amazing beef cuts. Let me move this out of the way, and I want to show them really quick what we did on this one cut, and then we will. You brought your A game today.
Yeah.
So check this out.
Okay.
The recipe we're doing is basically grilled steak with asparagus. Super easy. But we took the top sirloin and marinated it. And what I love about Beef is What's for Dinner recipes is I can have an easy recipe that has some convenience items in the store.
That's what we're.
I have maybe a skill level 1 to 2 recipe. I have a skill level 3 to 4, where it's a little bit more ingredients, more steps, and then there's definitely skill level 5s.
Right.
And that's super cool because
I love that. We're going to use that.
As
We're going to skill level it up.
Right, but what
yes.
so one of the guys at Ace was asking me to write some new recipes, and I said, well, what do you need? And he's like, CJ, we need like skill level 1 to 5.
Right.
I need
30
something
minutes
that
or
are
less,
1 to 2.
10 ingredients or less.
And I was like,
that is
it translates so perfectly into how people think.
Right.
Like, if I want to be skill level 5 and I'm entertaining, you have recipes on Beef with What's for Dinner.
Yes.
So this is like skill level 1 to 2.
Or if it's a holiday or a special occasion, you want to really go out there.
I took a Ziploc bag, standard Ziploc bag. And in there, I put one of my favorite balsamic vinaigrette dressings. You can do a white balsamic. You can do, you can do white. You can do a light. You could do a champagne vinaigrette. You could do a Romano.
You could do
Pick
Italian
your
dressing.
favorite.
Yeah.
I love this because balsamic vinegar has umami.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm developing more umami in here. And then I picked like a Dijon honey mustard.
Okay, so sweeten it up a
So
little bit.
I sweetened it up a tiny bit just to compensate for maybe a little bit of tart.
Okay,
if there was tart. So
sweet sour.
I put this in the marinade. What time did you get here? Like 4:30?
4.
Yeah. So this has been marinating for 2 hours. That's it.
That's it.
And that's it. So while you introduce what we're doing, I'm going to sneak around that side, and I'm going to throw
smash taco.
Yeah. No, I'm going to throw this on the grill so it can grill while people watch it. Well, they won't be able to see yet because I haven't turned the camera.
All right.
But they will in a minute. So, all right, this is your show. Now, don't mess it up. I'm going over to put the steak on. Tell people what they want. I'll come and wipe that up.
All right, we're getting ready to grill up top sirloin. A lot of our recipes will say, marinate for 2 hours, 6 hours, overnight. It's really kind of your preference. Chef Jason and I like kind of a quicker marinate, right? Let that marinate. Oh, we got that sizzle going right there. Nice. That's what we all look for, is that nice sizzle on the grill. I know balsamic, mustard, terrific marinade. One of my favorites is adding a little bit of soy in there, adding some Worcestershire sauce, some onions, some kind of hard herbs like thyme and rosemary in there, some garlic, obviously. Love garlic.
I like garlic
right?
too.
Yeah.
I like garlic a lot.
But that marinade is probably one of my favorites. And it can kind of go with whatever direction you're heading with your menu.
Yeah.
Right? We're kind of going American classic here.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of go Mexican American here.
We are.
You could take it down the Asian path if you wanted to.
Yep. We
go-
talked soy. We both like soy. And
Yeah.
do you ever use soy in a non-Asian application when it comes to cooking, or a non-Pacific Rim,
Yeah,
so
I'd
to
say
speak?
more American style.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It-
kind of what you're doing here.
It adds like super cool finish.
Because it's familiar. You know,
Yeah.
it adds that sodium in there without
Yeah.
adding salt.
Yep.
And if you want to do the light sodium, that's
Yep.
good too. Or tamari, we're talking about if you have the gluten-free stuff.
Tamari works really good.
Tamari soy.
All right, Chef. You
All right.
brought. I said, what do you want to do? Should we do X, Y, Z? And you were like, I'm going to bring something cool I've been thinking
Yeah,
about.
so ground beef. You buy a lot of ground beef?
Well, when I buy like a half cow,
Okay.
animal,
I love that.
half a side of beef, guess what I get? I get a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And we always talk here when we do our lives, like, hey, you buy a half an animal, you're going to get some steaks. You get to pick some cube meat, some Swiss steaks, a lot of different options. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I get some ground. You could do meatballs.
Meatballs.
smashed.
That's probably, meatballs probably.
Yeah, meatballs.
Burgers probably number one.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And
I'd
then,
say meatballs or anything Italian.
Yep.
It's probably number two. Meatballs.
Yep.
Lasagna. Probably
what
in
do you
that
think's
category.
number 3, though?
Number
Meatloaf?
3. I mean, meatloaf, yes. Yeah,
Meatloaf is
I would
good.
say. Meatloaf is good. I mean,
Meatloaf, there's nothing bad with eating meatloaf.
to me, it brings me back to that childhood memory.
Yeah.
You know, mom made meatloaf. You know, we probably take it a step further now.
We do.
Right? What you got any up there?
No. I have to be super honest. I'm still a giant fan of the ketchup glaze. I've done fancy bougie meatloaf, and I think people are like, it's good. They don't ever say it's bad, but then when you do classic and it's like the glazed caramelized ketchup on the top, people are like,
I like it.
like my mom used to
Yeah.
make that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
all right.
you could take it different directions, right?
So-
Yeah, we probably have, I bet you, 20-some recipes for meatloaf.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we should just do a meatloaf next time. Like,
You know, the
10 different
ketchup.
meatloafs.
The ketchup. I love comments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like if you guys want to comment.
you think we're going to
below,
get comments about the ketchup meatloaf?
I just maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I know, like, we put out a video. It was just like your classic grandma style meatloaf. You know, I had the ketchup glaze.
Did you take some heat?
No, you know, I'd say I don't know if it's just like beef or people that focus on beef or people that kind of grew up with meatloaf.
Yeah.
There's no negative. Everybody was just so happy. You know, there was some debate on, is ketchup, can we do something else? Can we do a gravy? Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you
do
do
a gravy.
cheese? Heck yeah.
Cheese on meatloaf?
Cheese? Yeah, man. A little meat, like kind of like a Philly cheesesteak meatloaf.
Really?
You know?
Huh.
We can go
Like
Asian.
in it or on it? On top?
On it. So it's like
And it just like makes a skirt of cheese all over it.
I love reading the comments because you get some cool ideas.
Oh, we're going to get some.
Right?
All right. So
right.
walk us through what you have,
Okay.
what you've done. And you want to start here? You want me to move the camera to the grill?
Yeah, let's switch over here.
right,
let's
let's
see
do
how
that.
our grill is over here. So this is some fancy equipment we got here.
Let me get that grill over to you on the grill. So that was what? Did I say that was number 2? Oh, there we go.
There we go. All right. We got, where are we?
All right, we are live on the grill cam.
We're live on the grill cam. All right,
We have
so
our
we
steak
got
moving.
We got our here. We got our beef. What can you see? Yeah, where are we? We got our beef balled up. I want to say these. What do you think? It's probably 3.5, 4 ounces.
Yeah.
So kind of on the smaller side. We're gonna go ahead. I got a taco spice rub here. You can go one of Jason's great rubs also. But we're gonna go ahead and get this kind of nice and coated.
Pick your favorite rub.
Pick your favorite rub.
And I think that's important too. Like when you're writing or reading recipes, yes, recipes call for ABC, but you can always switch it up and use what you're familiar with.
Use it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got kind of a medium-high heat here. So we're just going to start with this little ball down. And this is kind of how I picked up.
So no fat down ahead of time?
No fat. So
what percentage are we on the beef?
This is actually 90-10.
Okay.
I added some tallow.
You wait. I'm not sure if everybody heard that, but Chef added tallow.
I added fat in there. But you can use it. Any smash burger is great. I kind of like the leaner stuff sometimes.
The birds like it lean too. They're really loud. Know, right? You can see down there the tallow and the fat just kind of rendering out.
We'll make 4. We'll start off with 4. But I'll kind of start those balls and get them kind of searing. You can kind of see my tallow coming out.
Yes.
But this works for 70-30, 80-20. The leaner ones, I feel like you don't get as much of the rendering. So I'm looking for that kind of little bit of fat, just to add a little bit more flavor. But we're going to let that set for a couple minutes, and then we're going to flip and smash. And we're going to kind of we'll do a couple different plays on that.
But it's not just flip and smash. You're putting something on there.
Yeah, we have.
Because you said this is USA meets Mexico. It's like the ultimate soccer match. Right?
Who would win on that one? We can guess. Okay.
I just called myself out because I really don't watch sports, so I'm not sure who would win. But
Mexico.
Would they? Yeah. I knew it.
But we're gonna let this render a little bit, and then we're just gonna give it a quick little flip. You could also add some shaved onions right here.
Oh,
that'd be good.
A little Oklahoma
Get
style.
yourself, a little Oklahoma style. Oh. So we got a little bit of caramelization there. Look at. We're just gonna help it out a little bit.
Look at that beautiful little piece of caramelization right there. Nice little crispy, crunchy little part.
And then a couple of different ways you could do this. You could put your tortilla and smash the tortilla.
Whoa, wait, tortilla?
Yeah. Ah. So no bun today. No bun. We got some flour tortillas. We're gonna give this one a little smash.
I'm not sure what those birds have going on, but they're happy.
Joining. They're waiting for us to finish these.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're happy there was no hail.
Right. Yeah, you never know. You got to look out the window. Oh, thank you. So we'll give that a smash. We're going to give it a little bit more of season to make sure we get that kind of Maillard reaction going, that little caramelization there.
Do you find like when you're cooking burgers that you would prefer there to be more fat in there because you're going to lose some of that fat moisture as they cook? Like let's say I put a 93.7 burger. When I get ready to eat that, do you think 10% of that moisture is gone?
I think the leaner, there's obviously more meat.
Right.
So you'll have more substance there.
Okay.
So, but ground beef, pick your
favorite.
Pick your favorite, right? Whatever you want to do.
I love being a little bit heavier in the 80-20, 90-10 with a supplement like bacon fat or tallow.
But if you're looking at, leaning stuff out a little bit,
right?
Then the 90, there's all kinds, 93.7.
Look at that. You're starting to get all that moisture coming up around there. Juices are coming up.
So we'll see. This thing's working great, huh?
It's brand new.
This is awesome.
It's a brand new.
I like how you bust out the brand new stuff.
Oh, look at that.
So we got this. All right. We're going to throw a little bit of cheese on there.
You want me to get your cheese?
I got it. Everything ready.
Oh, you got everything.
I'm ready. Yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, come on.
No hot spots or anything. Beautiful.
And the best part about this is you guys aren't ever here for the after party where we just get to eat.
Right.
And normally, because it's just me, I'm eating by myself, which is kind of what I do most of the time anyways. But it's nice to have guests. Oh, wait. What are those spicy little green things?
So we got some cheese, we got some avocado, we got the traditional condiments. I got a couple different salsas over here.
So you've got jalapenos, you've got some lettuce, you have avocados.
You want a spicy one? We can throw a spicy
lime?
one on there. Yeah, a little lime, a little acid.
Where's the acid going?
We're gonna squeeze that at the end.
Oh, on the tortilla or on the beef?
On everything, on the beef.
Oh my!
I like to hit all those different flavor profiles, so we're gonna give this one a little flip. Actually, look here. Let's do a little more cheese on that. A little more cheese.
Oh, these looking.
We're gonna try to get like a little crust on the outside here, right? So, but I love flat tops griddles.
Yeah.
Right? You can kind of be very creative on it.
And the nice thing about what Chef's doing here with the cheese is that cheese, as it cooks, is going to be crispy.
Crispy, yeah.
And that crispiness is going to help it release from the griddle. So if you go to lift that burger up and you see it's still stringy, put it back down, leave it alone. You want that cheese to get nice and crispy, and then it will release. Oh, man. These things during COVID, these were all the rage, right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing a little different.
Well,
so
the concept, if you will.
Yes.
But everybody was making,
Smash
what were they
tacos.
called? Smash tacos, that's what they were calling them.
Little smashed tacos. So we're just going to give that a little cook, let that cheese caramelize quite a bit.
This
then
is
we'll give it one last flip,
tacos.
and then we'll put it on our board. Then you can kind of top it however you want it to.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
Yep.
How's our steak doing?
Our steak is just doing its thing. Look at that.
That's thick.
It is a thick steak.
a
Got
big
nice grill marks going there. That is beautiful.
Nice. How are we doing heat?
We're
Beautiful. Nice. So we'll give this a little flip. See how it's going. Here, let me.
I started my morning in the backyard having coffee with my wife this morning, and the birds were singing away. I mean, they've been singing all day long.
They're following you.
I love it.
Right?
That's why we live in Colorado, right? Beautiful
Oh,
days.
we love it here. I mean, we're spoiled.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. So you got a little crunchy. We got a little bit of the jalapenos going. We got a little chalupa style, right? So a little cheese on there. So you could do.
Oh, look at. Oh, that like
so
beautiful.
We got, little cooked jalapenos. Yeah, get that on there.
Oh, get that on. That's mine.
Yeah, right. Little cooked jalapeno.
Well, the nice thing too is that softens that jalapeno up a little bit, so it's not going to be. I think it mellows it out
pungent,
too.
Right? Yeah, so pungent. And then, so we'll just let that crisp up. We'll put it on our board.
Oh.
I got a couple salsas. I got a little chili crema here, chili lime crema.
How'd you make that?
I had some guajillo chili powder, some lime, salt and pepper.
Into the crema, Mexican crema?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Maybe a little cholula to make it authentic, right? And then we got some avocado here. So can we see it?
We got a lot of
we
good
can see
stuff.
it right here. So we got.
Yeah, they can see it.
We got this.
You're gonna
You
put
know,
that.
you-
Oh yeah.
You can do this.
And then when you're ready to go back to the table, I'll go back over there with the camera, and we should be
Here,
ready.
so it's a little,
This-
it's a
look at this.
Latin style burger, I guess.
Right there.
Right. Throw that there. You know, you could get a little bit more authentic and do kind of small versions, little appetizers.
Nah, nobody wants them small. Nobody's in the mood for small.
There you go. Nice.
Go
And
big.
then we'll add a little bit of a little shredded lettuce.
And a little bit of cold shredded lettuce is
Right.
like cool and crunchy all at once.
I love it, right?
Could use cabbage
All about
too, I guess,
texture.
if you wanted, right?
I was going to bring a slaw, actually. It's funny you mentioned that. So a little bit of avocado in there.
This is fancy.
And then, right, we try to go.
Fancy.
We're outside. We're by the streets. We're
That
by the
avocado,
birds.
that avocado is gorgeous too. Nice and
It's all about the
soft it is.
ingredients,
Oh.
right? There we go. You know, we'll squeeze a little lime on there. I got, what kind of salsa you like? What
What do you have, tomatillo?
Tomatillo?
Spicy or no?
It's a little bit smoky. So
Oh, yeah,
I would
definitely.
say
Let's
this
do
is
it.
probably a medium. We got a little bit of that.
Listen, nothing is better for TV than when something's way too hot for someone. So we'll do it live on YouTube, and then if it doesn't work, I'll
And
just
start
edit
sweating.
it out later.
You sweat it out. And then I did do a little pico kind of style too.
You can
so
skip the pico for me.
no pico for
No
you.
pico.
Okay,
But
we'll
I'll
do a
probably throw
couple
some
here.
crema on there, though.
All right, little crema.
Oh, come on.
How does that look?
Looks amazing. Well, you're there.
There we go. How's our steak?
A little bit. Our steak looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll do a little bit of crema on there.
Oh,
Oops, sorry, I
look
don't
at
want to
that.
squirt you.
All over my
All right,
flip-flops.
All right, yeah.
It's flip-flop season, too.
That is. There we go.
That
How is that?
right there looks amazing. All right, I'm going to bring the camera back up to the main
All right, we'll swing
table.
it over here.
Yeah, swing up there.
Swing over here.
I'm going to hit us back at
We're
the
going to squeeze a little
big
lime
table.
on there.
We're going back to the adults table.
Here we go. Actually, which way are we going here? Let's go that way. Make a little
I
window.
can't believe we don't have any comments yet. I feel like people should be commenting, like how amazing.
Who's
and
watching? Let's get a
They're
comment
ready for
out
their
there.
steaks. Ready for steaks and a
any
little.
questions we need from the beef aficionados out there?
Listen, I look at. I just watched myself because there's a little bit of a delay. It looked like it just hopped out the door. So yeah, this is amazing. I'm not even sure where my phone is at, but I feel like this is food picture worthy. But
It's all about the IG, right?
absolutely, you gotta always feed.
IG moment.
Always feed the social media.
Are we digging in? Because I'm hungry. Have you eaten?
I haven't eaten yet. No,
Okay,
we're digging in. Hey, listen, as always, a giant thank you to all of our Colorado ranchers and producers. We appreciate
up.
everything you do to bring that amazing Colorado beef to our fridges, freezers, and bellies. And don't forget, leave your questions and comments because we always come back to answer those after we're not live, when we weren't live, but we were, but we're not anymore. And then head over to cobeef.com. That's the Colorado Beef Council website. There you can find the beef locator map, which will let you know all the local ranchers and producers that have that amazing Colorado beef for you. You'll find links on there under the cooking tab to some of our recipes and videos. And then you can grab all the chef's recipes and videos and tips. Follow Beef It's What's for Dinner on Instagram. Follow Beef It's What's for Dinner on Facebook. And then head over to beefitswhatsfordinner.com to grab recipes.
YouTube too? You guys?
Oh, yeah, you guys are on YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
we're doing YouTube.
Yep.
And yeah, thanks to all the ranchers out there. You guys do an amazing job. Keep up the hard work.
And we're lucky here.
And we are extremely lucky.
We are really, really lucky here.
Yeah.
So, cheers. We're going to dig in. We'll let you enjoy that first bite, and then we're going to pause it and devour these things. But man, chef, these.
So how do we like it? We like the way that came out. We get kind of like
amazing.
a cheese and
It
beef
just looks-
sandwich
it
here.
just
We're gonna
looks
fold
amazing.
her up.
Yeah, look at that.
See, we got it nice and folded. All right.
Yeah, you ready? I mean, it's not bad
moment-
at all.
After the bite, where you're trying to come up with it, and it doesn't come, good sign, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's that good, and you just want to take another bite,
That is
right?
fantastic. Cheers.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so
chef.
you get it, right? The lean beef with just a little bit more,
Just amazing.
right?
It was a pleasure cooking with you.
That was great.
Thank you so
Jason.
much. I
Chef,
appreciate
great,
it.
Great to
Cheers.
finally do this. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right,
And let's
great
eat
to that we
tacos.
got together finally.
Oh, all right. Stay tuned. Coming up next month, it is more summertime grilling. We're going to tackle some other fun things, great recipes. We'll see you right here on YouTube. Colorado Beef Council YouTube, Colorado Beef Council Facebook, and Instagram. So we'll see you then.
What are we doing? Live wood?
I don't know.
I think live wood so
Are you coming
popular.
back again next month?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Chef's coming back
Live
next
wood
month.
cooking.
We're going to cook over live wood or charcoal?
Yeah. We're gonna test. we're gonna cook some beef. I've been cooking on a lot of live wood lately. We've been traveling around a little bit, visiting some of the amazing ranchers in this country.
Just join us next month. We
Yeah.
don't know what we're doing.
We're gonna figure it out.
But we know it's going to be pretty amazing. And yeah,